Why the more you talk, the more customers pull away? How many times have you felt drained after constant rejection in client meetings, even when you're certain your product is the best solution? Have you ever left a call wondering, why don't they trust me? Or, what did I do wrong? Selling shouldn't be a battle to convince others. It's an art of guiding them to choose you as the solution. But if you begin the conversation as someone trying to sell, instead of someone trying to understand, you're building the very wall that blocks connection. In a world where buyers are increasingly savvy and guarded, outdated approaches are killing your sales every day. So, what keeps most sellers stuck while a few break through? And more importantly, how can you become one of them? Part 1. Let go of the seller role. Begin with genuineness. Every sales failure stems from one common root: approaching the customer with the mindset of a seller. When you enter a conversation with the expectation to close a deal, you've already failed 50% before speaking your first word. Buyers aren't waiting for a presentation. They're waiting for someone who understands, listens, and walks with them. The starting point of transformation isn't a tactic, it's a mindset. Remove the image of someone who needs to close, and instead step into the role of a truth seeker. Selling is no longer about persuasion. It's about profound discovery. The more you emphasize your role as a seller, the more customers shut down. They don't trust someone who has a self-serving motive. Their defensiveness is a survival instinct. You're not just being rejected as a product, you're being rejected as a person. If you continue clinging to the role of solution expert, you'll be labeled just like the hundreds who came before and filed in the same drawer. Ignored. At that point, you're no different from someone knocking at their door without an invitation, and no one gives a chance to someone trying to break into their space. The solution lies in stripping away. Strip away the role. Strip away the self-interest. Replace it with truth. Start with a disarming statement. I'm not sure if I can help. That's the truth. Because if you don't understand the problem, how can you confidently be the answer? This honesty doesn't make you weak. It makes you weighty. You're putting the customer at the center, not yourself. In that moment, the wall in their mind begins to crack. And for the first time, they're open to hearing you. So what should you do from now on? Each time you begin a meeting, drop all notions of pressure. Don't prepare slides. Prepare questions to understand. Don't write scripts to speak. Write reasons to listen. Your only goal is discovery, not proving yourself. Only when you dare to step back from being the seller can you become the person the customer needs, someone honest, unknowing, and willing to walk through the issue with them. Change begins when you lower your expectations and raise your authenticity. If mindset is the starting point, then your opening words are the first step to turning that mindset into a vivid experience in every meeting. Part 2. Conversation instead of presentation. A counter-cultural approach. Why do most client meetings fail from the very first minute? Because sellers walk in with a presentation instead of a conversation. They open with PowerPoints, talking about company capabilities, market achievements, superior technology, and forget, customers don't care about those things. No one cares who you are if they're not sure you can solve their problem. Presenting makes you the center. Conversing puts the customer at the center. And only that center generates true buying behavior. When you present without understanding the customer's problem, you're gambling your reputation. The customer senses it instantly. This person came to talk, not to understand. So they disconnect, and the opportunity ends. If you don't listen, you're in the dark. If you're in the dark, your words are meaningless. The gap between what you present and what they actually need makes you irrelevant. They're not rejecting you. They just don't see you in their picture. Flip the approach. Start every meeting with this opener. I'm not sure if we're the right fit, so I need to ask a few questions. That sentence erases all suspicion. You're not claiming to help, you're claiming to understand. Customers instantly feel safe. They're being guided, not manipulated. And that shift is the beginning of a true exchange. The buyer is heard, the seller is allowed to explore. You're no longer a presenter. You become a dialogue partner. That's a higher level of influence. In your next interaction, don't bring pre-packaged content. Come with a different mindset. Treat the meeting as a space to explore, not to convince. Choose 3 to 5 open-ended topics, focusing on their context, obstacles, and future direction. Shift intentionally from being the speaker to the information seeker. The more you step away from the spotlight, the more space you create for trust to grow. And it's in that space that what you seek finally begins to form. But no meaningful conversation happens without questions deep enough to reveal what's never been said. Part 3. The art of asking questions. Trigger thinking and seek the truth. If you learn only one skill in modern sales, let it be the art of asking questions. Not to lead, but to uncover. Customers don't decide based on logic. They decide based on awareness. And awareness doesn't happen without a chain of the right questions, at the right time, in the right context. Today, most buyers live in conflict between what they feel and what they dare to express. They don't need more data. They need someone perceptive enough to help them see more clearly what's stirring in their mind. Sellers don't fail because of poor products. They fail by asking the wrong questions. They ask to segue into a pitch, instead of clarifying what the customer has never considered. The worst questions are those asked just to fill silence or as a bridge to presentation. These don't open the mind, they shut it down. Customers instantly feel they're being steered, and once they feel steered, they defend. With defense up, all data becomes useless. You've lost the space where truth lives. The right question doesn't come from luck. It comes from a clear thought structure. First, intention, then content, finally, delivery. The intention must come from genuine care, not hidden agendas. The content must hit the blind spot, the thing the customer has never voiced, and the delivery must feel inviting, not demanding. These 3 elements create a kind of cognitive ignition, helping the listener think more deeply, respond more honestly, and most of all, feel like you understand them better than anyone else. To reach this level, you must think like an explorer. Each question must be a lever to go farther, deeper, and truer. Avoid cliches like, "What worries you most?" or "What do you need in a solution?" Instead, dig into the link between their current state and long-term impact. For example, if this continues for 6 more months, what do you imagine will happen to your team? The right question doesn't lead to an immediate answer. It sparks reflection. And where there is thought, change begins. Starting today, build a new habit. Prepare questions like a researcher, not a salesperson. Every interaction should be built around a clear guiding theme, not recycled lines. Set one principle. Never enter a conversation unless you know the 3 most critical things you need to understand from the customer. Success isn't about how many questions you ask, it's about the quality of silence you create afterward. Because it's in that silence that the buyer begins to dialogue with themselves and makes the most important decision. And when those questions touch the undefined zones of the mind, a rare opportunity appears to unlock what they never knew they were facing. Part 4. Uncover hidden needs. The seller as the issue activator. Customers often don't know exactly what they need, not because they lack intelligence, but because they're surrounded by too much information, too many emotions, and ever-changing circumstances. In such a setting, they make decisions based only on problems they can name, leaving the unclear ones aside. Yet, it's in those unnamed problems that real potential lies. Average sellers talk about solutions. Great sellers surface unidentified pain points. They don't wait for the customer to tell their story. They activate the story. If you fail to do that, you'll fall into the loop of responding to what customers think they need. The result? You lose value. When you react based on known information, you're easily compared to competitors. Customers see you as one item on a shelf. They find no reason to keep listening. And you become irrelevant. Worse still, you're missing the chance to help them see a bigger truth. If you don't help the customer discover, they'll keep operating within old limits, where no meaningful improvement occurs. The only way to enter that hidden space is through intellectual curiosity. Ask questions that make customers pause, think, and say, "I've never thought about it that way." Find the gaps between what they're doing and what they want to achieve. Highlight the contrast between current reality and ideal future. More importantly, observe the emotion in their response. Sometimes, what they hesitate to say is exactly where you need to go. And in that moment, you're not just selling, you're creating deep impact. To reach this level, you need different preparation. Don't try to prove you're smart. Be the person who makes the customer reflect on themselves. Study their profile, their industry, the risks they face, but don't speak about. Build your question framework like a full-body health exam, not just asking where it hurts, but uncovering the root cause. You don't need to come with a suitcase of solutions. You just need to show up as someone perceptive enough to help them understand what they've never dared to name. But to go deeper into this subconscious space, you need one more shift, to see the world through the buyer's eyes. Part 5. Think like a buyer. Remove resistance and build trust. Sales failure often starts with the seller's mindset. When you approach customers with the goal of closing a deal, you're instantly categorized as someone with a hidden agenda. The buyer's mind reacts to that like it reacts to pressure, with defense, doubt, and distance. Their survival instinct doesn't allow them to trust someone trying to change them too quickly. This is a natural response. It's not about whether you're good or bad. But once you start with, "I want to sell," they'll respond with, "I don't need it." That's why the harder you try to control the conversation, the more you lose the right to be trusted. The seller's mindset is, "How do I lead?" While the buyer's mindset is, "How do I avoid being led?" That tension creates an invisible pressure zone, where even your best words are met with suspicion. And when customers sense you're using technique, they instantly view you as manipulative, not trustworthy. The tragedy is, you might sincerely want to help, but the wrong expression makes you completely misunderstood. Instead of leading, slow down. Enter the buyer's mental space as a companion, not a judge, not someone who concludes too fast. Try thinking like them. If you were them, what would you fear? What pressure would you face? What constraints would hold you back? When you understand how they defend, you'll know how to approach without clashing. Choose gentle words, slow tone, and read their eyes. Those tell more than any script you write. Thinking like a buyer is the mindset of respect. The key shift lies in creating space. Spend the first 5 minutes of a call without making any proposal. Instead, share a market insight, a relevant event they might have heard of, not to spark a sale, but to find a shared experience. Then ask a question unrelated to your solution. What's been on your mind lately, beyond the product? This movement away from the familiar lowers their defenses. And that's where authenticity begins to speak. The right mindset is the foundation, but to keep the door of their mind open, you'll need one more subtle yet powerful tool: language. Part 6. Soft words. Language that shapes buyer perception. Language is the sharpest weapon in communication, and also the most dangerous double-edged sword if misused. In sales, what matters is not what you say, but how the customer feels when they hear it. Words like, "You should," "We recommend," "This is the best solution," unintentionally put the listener on guard. They don't feel consulted, they feel directed. Hard words imply control. Soft words offer choice, autonomy, and respect. Customers trust you when they feel they still own the decision. To achieve that, you need a flexible but guiding vocabulary. Instead of "I suggest," say, "Perhaps we could explore another approach." Instead of "This will yield clear results," say, "Many in similar situations have seen clear differences." Using conditional structures, open-ended questions, and phrases like "might," "if," "sometimes," "likely," keeps the listener's awareness fluid. This isn't vague technique. It's the language of people who understand human emotions. Starting today, review your emails, call scripts, opening and closing lines. Ask yourself, Do my words feel imposing? Do they create space for thought? If not, rewrite them. Don't sacrifice truth for smoothness, but let the truth be wrapped in language that others can receive. When customers feel you're communicating, not manipulating, they don't just open up. They begin to share more willingly. And that's when you go beyond being a seller. Because if words can make someone listen, it's the quiet influence behind them that determines whether they'll walk forward with you. Part 7. Influence. Sales is a vital life skill. Influence is not a privilege exclusive to salespeople. It's a life skill. In a family, you need influence to uphold values. In a team, you need influence to align goals. In society, you need influence to survive without being swept away. So why is sales, which is essentially helping others see a better option, often viewed as a coercive tactic? That's a major misunderstanding. True influence doesn't make others change because you speak well, but because they feel understood. And that's what everyone craves daily, regardless of industry. If you want to grow deeply in this profession, stop studying sales in its narrow sense. Learn how to shift others' perceptions without forcing them. That's the highest level of influence, not through pressure, but by drawing people toward you voluntarily. To do that, start with your personal life. Practice listening without reacting. Control the urge to respond instantly. Practice sharing perspectives without trying to close. Those who can influence in daily life become irreplaceable in any negotiation. But to sustain influence in a constantly changing world, nothing is stronger than internal discipline, steady as breath, rooted like a tree. Part 8. Discipline, learning, and commitment. The foundation of excellent sellers. No one becomes a great salesperson by luck, and no one stays at the top relying on natural talent alone. The most outstanding individuals in this field all share one thing. They are disciplined about the process, not just the result. They don't act when inspired. They build systems to keep moving. Stability doesn't come from bursts of emotion. It comes from small things done daily. Reading for 15 minutes, rewriting questions after every call, reviewing how they spoke, not to feel proud, but to improve. One concept needs a reset. Learning isn't something you do when you have free time. Learning is a part of professional rhythm. You can't increase income without upgrading your communication, and you can't upgrade without continually exposing yourself to new things. Not to know more, but to understand deeper. A deep thinker only needs one sentence to make a customer stop and think. But to deliver that one sentence, they've spent hundreds of hours reflecting and trialing. To go the distance, you must commit to yourself before expecting anyone else to commit to you. Successful people don't always get it right. They just don't stop after getting it wrong. They're not afraid of rejection. They're only afraid of not improving. They measure progress not by how many deals they close, but by how much they mature after each failure. If you continually adjust your strategy based on real feedback, you won't need external guarantees. Your discipline will be your internal safety. From this moment, stop chasing another new technique. Build a schedule so simple you can't make excuses, but challenging enough to push you forward. Pick a fixed hour each day to go deep. Write down what you learned after each meeting. Create a checklist of what you did well, not to brag, but to build inner momentum. No one can coach you forever. But if you master the habit of self-correction, you'll succeed not just in sales. You'll succeed in any field involving human connection. Do you really need to sell to succeed? Or do you simply need to help others confidently choose? Those chasing techniques to persuade, can they admit they're trying to manipulate a decision that's not ready? The more strategies, the less sincerity. That's the trap of the modern sales era. Who dares to walk into a meeting with nothing but the truth? No scripts, no tactics, no leverage, just presence, and a quiet mind to hear what's never been spoken. Will you choose to influence with intelligence or impose with words? The answer isn't for the masses. It's for those ready to trade control for trust. And at that point, selling is no longer a skill. It becomes a way of living. Thank you for watching the whole video. Please like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos.